Well, I think this is the thing that I'd like to talk about today, is the power of communication. But I'm not talking computers and internet and Wi-Fi and those magnificent marvels of technology. I'm talking you and me, baby. The two of us, we talk and we got to get things to swap together. This is business, pleasure, it's all these various things that come into our life. Every single day I go to a shop, I order a coffee. What happens? The man comes along and he doesn't like me, I don't like him, he spits in my coffee. It's just not cool. I do a business deal, the same thing happens. The person doesn't like me, they schneid me out of my money. I've got to shoot them. It makes life very uncomfortable. So this is the thing, is how do we communicate with each other? And I'd like to talk about it in three little sections. The first is what, when I'm communicating with someone, especially say it's an argument or debate or it's a serious subject, do I want to have my say or do I want to get my way? Because are they the same things? I'm not always. Sometimes they are. But very, very often we get into discussion, it gets heated, we get sidetracked, we get thrown off course, we're now arguing with the person, and now I've got to win, man. I was right. I don't know what I'm arguing about, but I'm sure I was right in the first place. And I have got to win. Don't they see this? And we get into argument and we forget, and then we don't achieve the outcome we want. We all have that big fight like a family reunion. And it was simply because we wanted to have our say. There was no capitulation, no negotiation, no giving both sides this kind of, no, it doesn't happen like that. Ego is talking. Which brings us to the next point, is when we talk to someone or communicate directly with someone, do you know that 50% of what they are picking up and reading is your body language? It's not your words, it's your body. It's how your body behaves, how you stand, how you square up. Are you forward? Are you open? 30% is in the tone of your voice. And only 20% is in the verbiage and actual narrative. So your conversations might be with the greatest verbiage in the world and the best intentions. But you look like Attila the Hun. Man, it's not going to get across. And which means your conversations, we should be looking first at our body language and how we project ourselves. Secondly, in our tone of voice. Do we sound engaging or do we sound threatening? Do we sound antagonistic? Do we sound challenging? And thirdly, only, then choose your words carefully, but then say them nicely with very positive body language. And then comes to the third part, is orchestration of conversation. When we have a conversation, we go in, we want to achieve something, and we walk in and we say something, and then we say, having a meeting, and we say to Joe Blogs, and we say, geez, I hated the tiddlywinks. Do you believe it? They had tiddlywinks on TV last night. Social media was all over tiddlywinks. And the guy said, well, my daughter plays tiddlywinks nationally. Ew, fuck. And all of a sudden you're in trouble, don't you? You've got to do tap dancing around the situation. And maybe a little bit of thinking in the conversation, especially if you know the person you're doing business with, or you are engaging relationship, dating, romancing, friendship. If you know a little bit about them and you have to discuss something and there's an outcome desired, or you've got a preferred way to turn out, if you know them, you can actually almost plan your conversation, can't you? So you can say things that will engage them in a way and predict the way they will answer, which leads into your next engagement and next answer. So you steer the little ship towards where you're going to go. It's a manipulation, of course. Everything is manipulation. I mean, when we're trying to get discount, on the side of the road, it's manipulation, isn't it? It's usually some form of power, some form of verbiage. But that is life. We are not going into the philosophies and the deep meanings of communication. I'm just saying, think about your communication. First of all, it's not important just to have your say if you want to get your way. Secondly, what about your body language and your tone of voice before words? And thirdly, do a bit of thinking about the conversation, and you'll make your whole life and the way you engage with other people so much brighter and more interesting. Have a lacquer day.